On the day I was supposed to deliver twins, I bought out all the contraction inhibitors in the hospital to forcibly delay labor. I desperately held out until the next day, watching Kevin declare that his 10th mistress Samantha had given birth to his child first. Her child would become the future heir to the Wilson family. Only then did I relax and deliver my twins. In my previous life, Kevin had been diagnosed with oligospermia. To secure an heir, he kept 10 mistresses and declared whoever bore his child first would have their offspring inherit his empire. He promised to dismiss all mistresses if I delivered first. I believed him. When I miraculously conceived twins, I was overjoyed. But on delivery day, instead of his smile, I faced his fury. Ignoring my screams, he shoved my babies back inside me and stitched me shut. I felt them slowly stop moving in my womb. He dragged me to a fresh grave, forcing me to kowtow until my forehead split open. Sam had a tragic life. He spat. I just wanted her child to inherit everything so nobody would bully them. Yet you had to steal even this. When she died during childbirth, you owed 2 lives. Now you'll pay. He beat me to death at Samantha's grave. When I reopened my eyes, I was back on that day. This time, I'd let their happy family prevail. I called the nurse for one final inhibitor dose. Mrs. Johnson, you must deliver now. The nurse panicked. Delaying further could kill you. Before I could respond, Kevin's bodyguards stormed in. Medical staff shouted warnings about my crashing vitals and impending hemorrhage. But the men dragged me to a press conference. All Kevin's mistresses were there, some visibly pregnant. Guards force-fed us abortion pills. The hall erupted in screams as metallic blood stench flooded the room. Even if Mrs. Wilson births a child, we mistresses never stood a chance. Why kill our babies? Help. It hurts. The full dose reignited my labor. Blood gushed as women noticed my condition. The CEO's wife took the pill too? She's crowning. If she's not delivering, who is? Who wants us all dead? I writhed on the floor, screaming for doctors. That's when Samantha glided in wearing white lace, complexion radiant despite supposedly having just given birth. Kevin froze at the carnage. But she covered her nose and shrieked. These poor sisters are miscarrying. Who's so heartless? Kevin's boot slammed into my swollen belly before I could speak. You jealous bitch. You poisoned them. Gasping through pain, I glared at Samantha's smug face behind him. She did this. Lies. Kevin roared. You've schemed like this before. No more mercy. He ordered bodyguards, slap her once each. Afterward, I'll send you to luxury hospitals. They pinned my bleeding body center stage. Weeping mistresses took turns slapping me, apologizing through tears until my ears rang. When only we remained, Kevin cradled Samantha's baby, staring at my bloodied face with fleeting regret before hardening. Remember this lesson. Touch Sam or her heir again. And this is mercy compared to what you'll get. I shuddered. He remembered our past life too. That's why he'd instantly blamed me when Samantha spoke. Why he'd said not your first time. Just like last lifetime. He'd framed me for Samantha's death sentence. Tears welled up in my eyes as Kevin sneered coldly. Emily, your pitiful act won't work anymore. Even if you deliver early, it's meaningless. I've had doctors administer labor-inducing medication to Samantha. This time she'll definitely give birth first. Whichever child arrives first becomes the heir. Even if you deliver now, it's pointless. A bitter laugh escaped my lips as I clutched my bleeding abdomen. I took inhibitors to delay labor, made way for your perfect little family. Why won't you let me save my baby? Why force those drugs? Why try to kill my child? He froze, brows furrowing. Stop lying. Your due date was yesterday. The doctors confirmed you already delivered. Cold sweat dripped down my temples as I gasped through contractions, desperately pulling his hand toward my swollen belly. Feel this. Look at me. He recoiled in disgust, wrenching his arm away without glancing down. Enough theatrics. If you want to prove you're not scheming against Samantha, publicly admit at tomorrow's press conference that you're infertile and begged her to surrogate your child. Then transfer all your shares and assets to her and her son. Afterward, you'll devote yourself to serving them. If you dare touch one hair on her head, his voice turned glacial. I won't just deal with you and that bastard in your womb. Your comatose father will lose his VIP hospital suite immediately. I stared at Kevin in horror. Ragged sobs tearing from my throat. You monster. My father became vegetative, saving your life. How can you use his medical care against me? He adjusted his cufflinks dismissively. Cooperate with Samantha's postpartum care and raise her child properly. Do this, and I'll let your father keep breathing through machines. As he walked away arm in arm with Samantha, I collapsed in a pool of blood, begging security to call an ambulance. My mother-in-law, Mrs. Wilson, arrived to find the banquet hall floor smeared with bloody amniotic fluid. Get her to the hospital now. Mrs. Wilson shrieked at the paralyzed staff. If anything happens to my grandchildren? But when we reached the hospital, no physicians appeared. Nurses whispered nervously under Mrs. Wilson's furious interrogation. All doctors are at the Riverside mansion. Miss Clark pricked her finger during blood work. Mr. Wilson ordered every physician to stand by there. Mrs. Wilson dialed furiously. Have you gone mad? Your wife is hemorrhaging while you play house with your mistress. On the 10th call, Kevin answered irritably. What now? Is Emily using you too? Emily's unconscious from blood loss. The twins are suffocating in her womb. Call back the doctors. His mocking laugh crackled through the speaker. She delivered yesterday. Tell her to stop faking emergencies. Fine. I'll send someone. I need to take newborn photos with Samantha and my heir. The heart monitor beeped erratically as I gripped Mrs. Wilson's hand. 3 years ago, you promised, if Kevin ever hurt me. Tears streamed down her lined cheeks. The divorce papers he signed during your wedding, I'll have them processed immediately. Tomorrow, you'll inherit everything. That ungrateful wretch won't get a cent. As she rushed out, fresh agony ripped through me. Memories flooded back, my previous life where Kevin had stitched my womb shut, suffocating our babies. The young assistant Mrs. Wilson left behind paced anxiously. When the door finally opened, we both turned toward the silhouetted figures, but the gleaming scalpel in their hands wasn't for delivery. The person who arrived wasn't a doctor, but a delivery guy. Seeing the blood-stained chaos in the labor room, he awkwardly handed over a package. A sanitary pad and band-aids tumbled out. Mr. Wilson said postpartum discharge isn't fatal. He told you to clean yourself up and stop disgusting him with this nonsense. The assistant, eyes red from crying, hurled the bag away. Emily, I'll transfer you to another city's hospital immediately. Please hang on. My agonized screams filled the air before darkness swallowed me. I awoke to a bucket of ice water drenching me. Kevin's disgusted face loomed above. Enough acting. He sneered. You knew I'm announcing the heir and Samantha's status tomorrow. Dragging this medical emergency to another city, you want everyone to think she's bullying you? Samantha stood behind him, cradling an infant with tearful doe eyes. Emily, hate me all you want. But why involve your mother-in-law to steal my baby? That assistant kept screaming before security dragged him away, said the Wilson family lawyers are preparing adoption papers to make you my child's legal mother. I tried to speak, but only choked whimpers escaped. Desperately shaking my head, I clawed at Kevin's pants. Hospital, my baby, can't hold on. Lies. Kevin kicked my hand away. My mother rushed back to handle urgent documents because you manipulated her. Think stealing Samantha's child will secure your position as the heir's mother? You gave birth yesterday, why fake labor complications? Trying to guilt trip me? Pathetic. Putrid blood crusted my legs. The stench overwhelming. Samantha gagged dramatically. You know postpartum smells trigger me. You're doing this on purpose. She buried her face in Kevin's chest as he glared at my shivering form. Look at you, a stinking, deranged mess. He gestured for guards to dump more icy water until my lips turned blue. Samantha sobbed. If you take my son, I'll jump. She lunged toward the window. Kevin caught her. Then spun toward me in fury. You'll never manipulate the Wilson family again. I've locked down the estate. And since you keep tormenting Samantha, he nodded at his guards. Cut her father's oxygen. Throw him off the roof. You monster. I screamed. He saved your life. Kevin laughed coldly. Your father schemed to force me into this marriage so his grandchild could inherit the Wilson empire. You failed to deliver my firstborn, that's on you. My debt's repaid. I lunged at the guards but was kicked down. A fresh torrent of blood erupted, pooling crimson around me. Kevin froze when he saw my still, swollen abdomen beneath soaked clothes. Whirling toward Samantha, he demanded. You said she delivered yesterday. Why is she hemorrhaging? Samantha tearfully showed a blurry video of a chubby newborn. The baby's fine. She's faking this. Kevin's rage reignited. He slammed my head against the floor. Then stomped my stomach repeatedly. Fake belly? Fake blood? You vile. Scheming. Agony ripped through me as each kick splattered more blood. Stop, please, I screamed until my throat tore. My body growing colder and stiffer by the second. When I could no longer beg, I curled up in my own pool of blood, trembling silently. Kevin shook off his blood-stained coat and turned to Samantha with remorse. Sorry, Sam. Letting you smell this stench was unforgivable. I'll handle her now. After this, I'll take you to our private island honeymoon as apology. Deal? Samantha shook her head tearfully, voice trembling with calculated fragility. But what if your wife still hates me? If we leave, she might find new ways to separate me from our baby. Her fingers brushed her flat stomach. Maybe I should disappear with our child. Let your legal heir be hers. Kevin's expression darkened. You'll never have to fear her again. He snapped his fingers. Lock her in the basement. She stays there until I announce Sam's son as my heir at the press conference. Dragged across hospital marble like trash, I left bloody streaks in my wake. Through fading consciousness, I choked out, please, Kevin, I only asked your mother to finalize our divorce, never wanted to steal her child. Bloody tears fell. Our babies died because of you, now you're killing my father too. A thunderous crash interrupted us. My father's body hit concrete, eyes bursting from impact. Dad. I crawled toward him, flesh tearing on rubble, until guards yanked me back. Kevin avoided looking at the corpse. Take her away. Death would have been mercy anyway. You butchered your own child. Your savior. I shrieked. Hell awaits you. He sighed. Give her whatever she asks for these days. Keep her comfortable. Kevin spared no expense for his grand press conference. He commissioned a human-sized golden lock symbolizing protection, bought an island renamed Samantha's Haven, and created social media account at LoveSam. His first post went viral, grateful to Sam for gifting me my firstborn son. My life is now complete. For 3 days, cameras captured his doting smiles while holding Samantha's hand. Between interviews, his eyes kept darting to his silent phone. On the final night, he finally called the mansion. Has she tried contacting me? Threatened to crash the event? The housekeeper stammered. Mrs. Wilson hasn't spoken, or eaten. Kevin scoffed. Typical tantrum. I clearly said whoever bore my first child would be honored. She failed. Schemed against Sam. Colluded with my mother to kidnap our son, yet I showed mercy. Now she's pulling this hunger strike? He thought of Mr. Johnson's tragic death and sighed. Is Em upset about her father's passing? Tell her it was an accident. I never imagined things would go so wrong. If she behaves and eats properly, I'll arrange a proper burial for her father. I'll also have Samantha's child legally recognized as hers to fulfill her wish of becoming the heir's mother. But she must never bully Samantha again. Samantha will live with us as an equal in this household. The housekeeper nodded eagerly and hurried toward the basement. The click of the lock echoed, followed by a blood-curdling scream. Mr. Kevin. Mrs. Wilson. She's dead. There's a stillborn baby next to her. Shut your lying mouth. Kevin surged to his feet, roaring in fury. How dare you curse my wife? The housekeeper's trembling voice continued through the phone. I swear. Sir, she's gone. Looks like she's been dead for hours. So much blood, the baby's face is blue. Enough. He nearly crushed the phone. Voice shaking. You're fired. Get out. I'll send someone competent to check on her. As he ended the call, his hands trembled violently. Samantha entered carrying their child. Her lips trembling. Why are you shouting? The press is waiting to photograph our happy family. They'll think you hate us. She reached for his arm with teary eyes. But Kevin shoved her away. Look me in the eyes. Samantha. His voice turned deadly calm. That night. Are you absolutely certain Emily delivered safely? That she and the babies were healthy? Samantha's breath hitched. How could you doubt me? You saw the baby videos yourself. What lies has she told now? Fat tears rolled down her cheeks. Maybe we should leave. Don't be ridiculous. He gripped her shoulders, forcing tenderness into his tone. It's Emily playing her usual games. She'll stop at nothing to ruin our happiness. Yet his eyes betrayed lingering dread. Abruptly releasing her, he strode toward the door. Stay here with the baby. I need to handle this. On his private jet, Kevin compulsively checked the hospital's number. She's faking. She has to be. His knuckles whitened against the armrest. Last lifetime. She risked our child's life taking labor-inducing drugs just to birth the heir first. Now she claims she needed inhibitors? Lies. She delivered safely and is staging this sick performance. Yet the housekeeper's description of Emily's corpse haunted him. He dialed the maternity ward. Show me my children. Now. While waiting, memories flooded him, waking from that car crash years ago. His mother explaining the girl outside had lost her father saving him. He'd vowed to protect Emily forever. He remembered tutoring her late into nights, smuggling menstrual pads past judgmental pharmacists, beating up boys who glanced her way. Their wedding day, when he'd wept openly vowing eternal devotion. Then Samantha arrived with her bombshell, claiming her father was the true hero who died saving him. Her life destroyed by Emily's family's theft. Her tearful confession in his office. The scent of jasmine in her hair. The hospital's reply snapped him back. Mr. Wilson, there's no record of any infants born to Emily here. The world tilted. His Emily, who'd once blushed asking him to buy her first bra, who'd clung to him during thunderstorms, had he truly let her die alone in that basement? Samantha's latest text blinked on his screen. Don't forget to smile for the cameras tonight. Darling. Attached was their sleeping child's photo, the spitting image of his college roommate. His mind was in turmoil, resenting John for clinging to wealthy families, stealing credit, and harming the true benefactor and his daughter. Yet he was terrified that Emily would go mad or leave him upon discovering the truth. So he devised a remedy. He kept a dozen women hidden away, Samantha among them. He lied to Emily, claiming low sperm count necessitated these women bearing his heir. Watching her face pale and eyes shatter, he coaxed, I'll send them away once you give me a child first. But despite his precautions, Emily secretly took fertility drugs and conceived. To outpace Samantha, she recklessly ingested labor-inducing medication. The twins died in her womb. When Samantha tearfully confessed, trembling, I didn't mean to. I never thought. I killed her babies. I want to die. Fury and guilt shredded his sanity. He forced doctors to shove the stillborn twins back into Emily's body, to make her feel deserved agony. Yet she wept, accusing him of murdering their children. He loathed her feigned innocence, despised how his indulgence had bred her lies. Dragging her to Samantha's grave, he demanded she kneel in penance. He hadn't realized she'd grown too frail to stand. By the end, he'd beaten her to death. When her body went limp, he collapsed screaming, cradling Emily as he slit his throat over Samantha's tombstone. Then time rewound. He awoke months before Samantha's due date. This time, he vowed to protect her and their child. He'd freeze Emily out, let others trample her until she learned obedience. He'd threaten her through her father, until bodyguards missed his "this is an act" text and shoved John off a building. Covering his eyes, Kevin choked out. Emily staged this with the nanny to punish me for her father. I went too far. But how could she fake her death? Our child's death? Thank God Samantha had the doctor film our baby. He froze. Last life. Emily carried twins. Samantha's video showed only one infant. A panicked voice crackled through his phone, "Your wife never delivered. She took 15 labor-suppressing shots, delaying until the day after her due date. Then your guards took her before." What? Kevin gripped the desk, knuckles whitening. "Bring her obstetrician. Now." The trembling doctor confessed. Mrs. Johnson insisted on delaying delivery. She said her babies could only survive past the due date. Lies. Kevin roared. Samantha said you delivered her child. Samantha? The doctor blinked. I was hired by Miss Johnson. Kevin staggered. Samantha had described this physician arranging everything. But Emily had chosen him. Ice flooded his veins. If Emily had handpicked this doctor, if the twins required delayed birth to survive. Had Samantha's video been fabricated? Had his last life's tragedy been built on lies? The room spun. Blood roared in his ears. What had he done? Suddenly, Kevin erupted violently. Find out who's lying. What really happened? He ordered the bodyguards who took Emily that day to be brought up for interrogation immediately. Upon seeing him, the bodyguards turned pale and fell to their knees, kowtowing frantically. Mr. Wilson. We were following Samantha's orders. We'd never dare lay hands on Emily and others without her command. What did you say? Kevin's head snapped up, eyes sharp as blades. What do you mean Samantha's orders? Wasn't Emily who told you to drug those women causing their miscarriages? It was Samantha's arrangement. The bodyguard stuttered in terror. She said since she'd already borne your firstborn, those women and their bastards were disposable. She claimed you hated Emily. Especially now that she was pregnant again, that you wanted us to eliminate the child in her womb. Kevin felt his scalp prickle. Voice cracking. You're saying Emily was pregnant when you took her? Yes, the bodyguards babbled. Samantha also said you resented her father for stealing credit as your rescuer. We pushed him down the stairs per your supposed text orders. Kevin staggered back, face contorted. All this was Samantha's doing? His anguished wail tore through the room. Emily was really carrying my child? And I accused her of lying. He collapsed to his knees, fingernails clawing bloody grooves into the carpet. After prolonged silence, he clutched his head, breaking down completely. She was pregnant. My baby was inside her. Yet I let her bleed out in that basement because of Samantha's lies. Kevin stumbled back to his mansion. The empty villa echoed as he descended into the basement. The nauseating stench of blood assaulted him. Where Emily had been imprisoned now lay only congealed bloodstains on cold concrete. He fell to his knees, fingers desperately scraping at the stained floor as if to resurrect the lost life. Where are you? Please come back. I was wrong. His maddened sobs reverberated through the hollow space, met only by silence. A familiar icy voice shattered the void. Stop looking. Emily's gone. Kevin froze, turning to see his mother at the stairwell. Mrs. Wilson descended slowly, contempt etching her features. That Samantha? She's a fraud. Not our rescuer's daughter. Just some gold-digging nightclub hostess who fabricated her identity after hearing about your accident and Emily. She glared at her trembling son. You created this sick breeding circus with mistresses over low sperm count, breaking Emily's heart. Worst of all, her voice turned arctic. You murdered your actual rescuer, your wife, and your unborn child for that con artist. Kevin stood petrified. But, the previous life, his voice failed as memories flooded back, the doctor pleading the children are innocent. Shoving them back will kill Emily too. Mrs. Wilson's eyes reddened. Emily's father shouldn't have saved you. He became vegetative saving your life. His last words begging me to protect her. I told you to treat her as a sister. But you insisted on marriage. vowing eternal devotion. And what did you do? Drove her to death's door with your mistress. Left her bleeding out in that dungeon. She spat. I buried her and the baby. You'll never visit their graves. You're unworthy. Kevin collapsed into hysterical sobs, repeating and I'm sorry like a broken chant. He locked himself in his room for 3 days. Catatonic. On the 4th evening, Samantha returned from vacation with their child. Against all expectations, Kevin summoned his driver to meet them at the airport. The driver said Kevin was impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, holding flowers with a polite smile as he waited at the airport exit. As if nothing had happened. As if he'd forgotten the wife who'd bled out in the basement. As if he'd forgotten the unborn children who never drew breath. Mrs. Wilson turned pale upon hearing this. Where did you take them? Send bodyguards immediately, Kevin's lost his mind. She arrived at the villa with her entourage just as the explosion tore through the night. Flames engulfed everything while Samantha screamed curses, clawing at windows sealed shut. Kevin dragged her back by the hair as she lunged for escape. Open the doors. Let them extinguish it. Mrs. Wilson begged through smoke, restrained by security. Amidst the inferno, Kevin's voice broke. I'm not coming out. Mother. Let me burn. I swore I'd face eternal damnation if I ever hurt M. Now I'll pay my debts to her and our children in hellfire. Tears streaked his soot-stained face as flames licked closer. If I atone, could I see you all again? He closed his eyes and stepped into the roaring blaze. By dawn, only ashes remained. I learned the news at Kevin's funeral. Mourning banners snapped in the southern wind as Mrs. Wilson stood at my door. Eyes red-rimmed. Will you come? Cradling the surviving child. I shook my head. After a long silence, she whispered. He's Wilson's last heir. The family legacy. No. His name is Davis. Not Wilson. My throat tightened. Thank you for your past kindness, Mrs. Wilson. But we're done here. The door closed on swirling funeral paper ashes. My baby cooed softly as tears fell on his cheeks. This time, my child would live to grow up.